what really hit you after talking to you now, just seeing it, is that there was a shame in terms of like letting down the city or letting down your, I don't know what it is, but like
the city, the fans, the kids, my father. It was like everybody who believed in what I stood for. Like at that time, I thought I done disrespected the whole culture of a zero to hero. Right? It makes me smile that the number 0 lives on, and it wasn't something that everybody looked like, I don't want that number.
What is
it?
What
wasn't
is
a negative. You didn't believe in me. You don't understand me, and I'm here now. And I turned into something because of the hard work and dedication, and you can't take that from me.
From what I know about you, and again, like full disclosure, bro, like I'm like a massive fan, and
Okay.
and you know, like I told you, I'm from DC, and you don't understand what it means to be for me to be sitting with you, and also just how much, how I'm a enormous Wizards fan, and that ain't that's his own brand of thing, you know what I mean? That's his own brand of thing, and Bullets fan, Wizards fan, and man, and there's a little bit like, in my game, it's like there are times where I have to go and show up with, people that I've seen my whole life, and I got to go fight them, or I got to go make out with them, or I got to go, like these big movie stars. I don't get starstruck, but seeing you, it's crazy. You know what I mean? But have you ever, from what I know about your life, and from what I know, at least the idea of what I built up about you in my head, and being just a huge fan of yours as a player, like you played with a chip on your shoulder, and you had been knocked around in your life. And are there examples? I mean, you see guys, Kwame Brown, you see guys, at least the narrative is they get to the pros, they get to that high level, and for whatever reason or another, they can't take the pressure or what that is. Have you seen guys where it is literally that all of a sudden for the first time in their life, they're being criticized, or they're being, and that has a profound effect on them?
No, it really does. It's like, especially I wasn't there when, Kwame got drafted.
Yeah.
I came after.
Yep.
Right. So, I seen the effect of meeting your hero look like. Right, you know how like in the Hollywood thing is, don't meet your hero because they're not who they say.
Disappoint the fuck
right?
out of you. Yeah.
And when you're talking about a Michael Jordan, you're talking about even a Tom Brady, you're talking about these elite minds. They think different, right? And if you're an 18, 19-year-old kid coming in and you get put on one of them teams with one of those guys, and you're coming in as a fan, and they're like, no, we're trying to win. Right? This is what you need to do. They don't know how to separate you're a young kid, and they don't, it's just one way. It's just, this is how we win. So what ends up happening is your confidence gets destroyed, and there's no system to build it. Right? So it's like being a cub, and you get put into the wild. Right? Yeah, your mom and dad, they have it's the wild. They got to protect themselves. You have to learn how to fight for yourself. So if you're not mentally strong when you get to the NBA, no matter how talented you are, you can be wiped out.
And do you think that mental toughness and if you that mental strength, does that come? I mean, for some of these folks who have always just been lauded and applauded and cheered on, and is it possible to build that kind of mental toughness if you haven't been knocked around a little bit?
Yeah, it's no different than reading a script, right? If you are overly prepared, you're confident. If you just get the script and you've been partying all night and this and this, and then you get to that filming, you're not going to feel too comfortable with your lines, right? And it's going to show. Same thing in sports, right? When you're talking about somebody like Curry, Braun, they prepare so much that I can shoot this turnaround. I've done it thousands of times, and then you can see someone who hasn't prepared, or he went out, or he wasn't putting in, the effort, right? And that's it. Once the opponent senses that, it's over.
Yeah.
Right? So it's always walking with that confidence is like, yeah, I'm going to kick your ass today, right? Because if not, that's what they're trying to do.
And is it do you find one thing that's sort of uniform that drives people at that level, people like yourself, to do that 3 hours, to to not go to the club, whatever? Do you feel like there's one motivator that's kind of uniform among folks?
Every day, yes. So like when you're talking about like the Jordans, the Kobe's, the LeBrons, the Mayweathers, Tom Brady's, they're not in real time. They're not here on planet Earth thinking, right? They're not thinking about their peers. Their target is whoever they think is the best that's no longer here, right? So when you're talking about, Kobe, it was Michael Jordan, right? He was at the pinnacle, so I'm chasing him. I'm trying to be better than him, right? That means you guys here, you're just in my fucking way.
That's right.
You're in
either
my
part
way.
of the problem or you're part of the solution. Well, you're
right?
One or the
so
other.
you're trying to keep me from getting to him, and that's how he went into every moment of his life. LeBron James, I'm trying to erase Michael Jordan. That means the rest of y'all are just trying to stop me from doing it. The players, the coaches, and my goal is there. So when your game is over with, how close did you get to your hero? Did you get there? Did you beat him? Right? Because if that's who you're pointing at, that is called greatness, right? So the elite is chasing greatness.
So it's a relationship with legacy. It's
Yes.
like you're constantly bouncing out. I had a guy. I went and studied acting. I went and moved to Russia as a young guy, and I lived in Moscow. I got in some trouble, and I went to school to play sports, and I got in some trouble and I couldn't fit, but I found acting and it sort of saved my life. And this woman said, hey, go to Moscow, and that's the best theater school in the world. And it changed my life, and in a lot of ways saved my life. When I came, I was there, and Harvard has a graduate school for acting. And I was like the most fucked up kid you ever met, like the most fucked up. Like, I feel so bad for my parents now, being a parent, my dad especially. But Harvard brought me there to get an MFA, even though I never went for their acting school. And that was a bunch of bullshit. It was it was not anything like Russia. But this one Harvard professor, the one bits of information that he gave me that I really took to is, he said, the problem with folks is they're constantly, when you get into a group, when you get into a system, when you get onto a team, what you do is you constantly sit there and have this dialogue with yourself where you're comparing yourself for everyone around. All right, well, I ain't as good as Gil, but at least I ain't bad as fucking Haywood. You know what I mean? Like some shit, right? And it's like, so it's like, okay, at least I'm not that. I'm like, oh, I might be able to get here. But he said true artists, like the truly greats, they have a specific and sublime and perfectly articulated picture of perfection in their minds. So whether it's Jordan making a play, or Jerry Garcia playing a riff on his guitar, or Mozart, whatever it is, but you have perfection and you are constantly battling against that. How close was my proximity to perfection? How common is that?
That's exactly, your professor is exactly when you're talking about a team. Soon as you get into a room and everyone started looking around, they're measuring themselves, right? They're measuring themselves and they're putting themselves in order. So for the most part, they already did the heavy lifting for themselves, right? They've done it for themselves. You already put yourself number 3 or 2. Like, I don't need to do it for you. Right. So, so when you're talking about, like, I remember we did this rookie transition. Right. And I always did this thing with school. The people in the front, you're not confident, right? You still need validation. So you want to sit in the front to be attentive, right? The teacher notices you. You're the kid who wants to give the teacher the apple. Right. Then you have the middle group, right? There's usually one brilliant kid in the middle, but for the most part, that lazy kid sitting in the back, don't care nothing that's going on, right? Just laid back. So when we get into team atmosphere and then like, all right, we're about to film study, sit down. You can tell who's who from where they're sitting, right? So the pecking order starts there. So when you're talking about perfection itself, I always want to ask kids, all right, who are you? And what they say, I believe. Right? If a kid says, I'm the number one option, perfect. Right? We can go, because now I know you're going to mentally and prepare to be the best player on this team. If someone be like, I don't know yet. All right, then you're just going to fit in. You're just going to be, I'm better than him, or like you should all want to prepare and mentally think you are the best or trying to be the best, right? You have to be able to challenge yourself and challenge whoever. Like, there's some things that there's no challenge, right? And think about for sports, a practice. Whoever the number 2 option is, he's number 2.
Mm-hmm.
He stays number 2,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Does he ever want to be number 1? Do you ever want my position?
Yeah.
Right? Because if you never want my position, how am I getting better?
Yeah.
Now I got to seek outside.
That's right. Yeah.
Help.
Yeah.
To get me better, because you're or my backup point guard. Like, I remember one day I'm going in kicking the kid's ass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, are you satisfied with just getting 2 to 3 minutes a game? You don't want 12, 15?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, then fight for it.
Yeah.
Fight forward every day. My rookie year, I came in, I'm number 15. I watched 2 practices, and I'm like, I'm the best scorer here. And everybody's looking at me like, sit the fuck. You know what I mean? It was one of those. And I know my skill and I know what they had. I'm not on that level yet. Like, I'm number 15. But I seen something like, no, I'm the best natural scorer here. I'm the best scorer on this team. Now I just need to prove it. So I need to enhance my strength, mental capacity. And then 2-3 years later, I was.
And it's that belief, that innate belief that you can do it, that's going to get you into the weight room, that's going to get you into spending those. And do you feel like that attitude is something that can be learned?
Yes, you negativity and positivity works the same way. If you tell yourself you're great every day and you start working towards it, you're going to believe it. Then you're going to want to keep doing it. Right? You're like, it's not like I can just go in the mirror and be like, I'm the best shooter ever. I'm the best shooter ever. I'm better. And then you think you're going to go out there and be Steph Curry. No, right? You tell yourself like, I'm the best shooter. Then you go out there and you shoot shots and, I got better today. There's a buildup, right?
Is that a different brand? Like, because there's some cats, right, who just say like, I'm the best. And then I got to work, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that can be toxic too, right?
It's toxic because if you keep saying you're the best and you're not, and then when someone comes in and punch you in the mouth, you're done.
Yeah.
You're not going to get back up.
Yeah.
Because you didn't prepare to get beat up, right? The best, they know they're going to lose at some point. That loss right there helps them build something like,
heck yeah.
Like I'm bulletproof until someone shows me I'm not. Oh, I didn't protect this part. Now I can
work on that.
I can work on that, and that's what the greats do, right? You'll rarely find a Mayweather, but people don't realize Mayweather's undefeated today because he lost before.
That's right.
Right? He lost in the Olympics, and that moment in time, he said, "Oh, this is how you guys grade. All right, I'm gonna build a bulletproof plan to never feel like this again." So you always you have to fall to learn how to win. There's no other way. You just don't wake up and you're a winner. But people don't want to lose. People don't want to fall. And in sports, losing every day, falling, getting benched, someone taking my position, me fighting back for it. Like, it's all part of being great.
Oh, thanks, bro. Yeah.
It's all like, even if you think somebody like LeBron James, right? His road to where he is, it wasn't all glitz and glory for him. Like, he's probably one of the most hated superstars ever. Yeah. Right? But that's what's keeping him going. Yeah. Right? You're talking about a guy about to be 40 playing the way he's playing because he wakes up every day knowing that I need to keep proving him wrong. A billionaire, still, I need to keep proving him wrong. Steph Curry, Magic Johnson's there. They won't give me the number 1 point guard ever. I'm going to keep going. So the purpose is not, it's not the numbers, right? It's they still have something to prove, and it's no different than acting, right? when you look at some of the greatest out there, they're still going because something is pushing them.
Mm.
They might not tell us what it is, but something's pushing them.
Mm.
Right? There's a competitor out there for everyone.
Yep.
Right? You're looking at someone like, I want it. I want a spot.
That's right.
Right? And, you know, and I love when like superstars get on the same screen because you can see them and like, ooh, this is going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's a competition,
Yeah.
man, for sure. And what do you think about in terms of like what makes, in that situation, what makes a healthy team, a healthy locker room, a healthy attitude, and what then makes it toxic? Like, can the competition and can that level of I want it, can that then become toxic, or is that always healthy? And in your mind, like what are the determining, you know, what's the healthiest locker room you've ever been in? What's the most toxic?
My rookie year was toxic. No one respected the coach. So, you know, there was no real structure. Right. It was a losing environment. Right. You know, we have practice at 11. Some guys came in 10:55. Some came at 11:15, 11:30. Right. No one really practiced hard. Right. So I thought that was this is the NBA, you know, especially coming from, you know, a place like Arizona with Lute Olson. So it was the players themselves to each other wasn't toxic, just all combined was just horrible, especially for someone coming in, right? You know, that's, you know, guns in the locker room, you know. So I learned bad behaviors from, you know, that year. I say the best locker room was probably some of the Wizard ones were good. Orlando was a positive locker room. All the players got along. It's the superstar. It's the guy who has the keys. Who is he as a person, right? Is he confident in his superstardom? Is he an alpha male? Now, that's a thing that goes around in social media now, alpha male, beta male. And when you're in sports, when you're come from sports, our alpha male, beta male is a little different than what the public thinks alpha male. Alpha male is not the strongest, not the loudest. It's the smartest person, right? When you're talking about the alpha male line, it's the smartest one. Who can get us to the finish line? Who can get us to the chip, right? It's not the rah-rah guy. That's an enforcer, right? The loud one who thinks he's tough, that's the beta male. Right? The difference between the beta male and the alpha male is who gets to the destination. Right? When you think about the Jay-Z's and the Kanye's, right? The famous you get, the less you wear. Right? You know, when you're young, you got all the jewelry on thousands. That's the beta male, right? Right? It's the beta, right? The alpha, he doesn't want to be seen, right? So when you look on a court and you don't know no one, it would be hard to spot an alpha male because he doesn't want to be seen because the competition wants to kill that person. If you kill the alpha, you win the team. So the alpha male he doesn't want to be seen, right? He's only going to be seen when it's time to be seen during competition, right? So he is the most calm. He don't want to fight, right? The last resort is physical violence, right? He wants to outsmart and that, right? So when you're talking about a locker room mentality, it's the guy who's thinking about everyone. Like how's moms, how's pops? Like, you know, you walk in and you're down. The leader, the person that's in control, he's gonna, hey, what's going on? Everything's all right? You know, everything at home. He wants to make sure you're mentally prepared, right? He's not, oh, he's fucked up, we ain't passing the ball. He's gonna make sure, like, hey man, it's okay. If you need to talk to me, go ahead, holler at me. You know what I mean? He's that guy, right? So when the alpha male is a real alpha male, you have a real team because everybody's checks and balances. Right, he's the first person to condone himself. You don't have to do it. Like, hey, this loss is on me. I fucked up. Right? I should have passed you the ball. You were open. My bad. I got you next time. That guy.
Who is an example of that? Like, who's the first person that pops in your mind?
Steph Curry. right? You've never seen him throw anybody under the bus, right? When it comes to LeBron James, no matter how many moves he does behind the scene, he's never personally thrown a teammate under the bus, right? Kawhi Leonard, you have Giannis, you have Jokic, right? You have those guys, somebody like Jimmy Butler, right? Even someone like Jimmy, you know, he demands greatness from everyone because he demands it from himself. And sometimes in a locker room, if you have a whole bunch of losers and you have him, he becomes a bad guy, right? They can jump him, right? So he becomes the bad locker room guy. So someone like a Tim Duncan, right? So you see those, you know, even Kobe in his own weird way, but, you know, Shaquille O'Neal, you know, he have the loving personality, right? So it's the guy who can bring all these individuals and make them think under one umbrella. Yeah.
It's, I mean, you started out by saying that's how, you know, the alpha male in sports, but I mean, it kind of ties back into what we were saying. I mean, we used to always say that about boxing, like dude in the most colorful clothes, loudest guy in the boxing gym is the last guy you got to worry about, right? It's a dude who like shakes your hand, says like, hey man, if you want to move a little bit today, you know, like does it with a smile, super quiet, it's always working out. It's like, that dude's gonna whoop my ass.
Those are the guys you got to worry about because 100%. They're so confident in themselves that they don't need to go out with the rah, rah, rah.
That's right. Because you know, my thing too, I mean, literally your role changes, right? Like there are certain movies I'll come on and like I'm there because I'm supposed to be the guy and it's kind of built around. And then there's other times when you go and it's all these other people's movies and I'm just kind of passing through. And to be honest with you, those are the situations I love the most. I mean, my agents hate that shit and they hate that I'm always trying to do that. But for me, I want to be a part of the you know, because to me it does really I come from sports and that's the kind of mentality that I like to look at it. But I want to be on the best teams with the best players, the players that are going to make me better. And I know for me, you know, it's the time, Sicario, Wind River, Wolf of Wall Street. Like you go into these movies where like everyone's a fucking hitter, everyone's a killer, and I'm just fucking passing through, right? So it's like I can come in and I just keep to my fucking self. I'm like, I'm not there to make friends. I'm quiet. I'm in the corner. And when I go, it's like my thing is like, because I am so afraid that I can't compete on that level, I need to outcompete. I just got to fucking throw the fuck down, get the fuck out. And as an audience member, you know, and I imagine this is the same thing in basketball. You know, for me as an audience member, for me as a fan of basketball fan, I love films where I see a character and they come in and I'm like, that dude. And then I'm like, man, I would like to go see a whole fucking movie about that dude. Leave him wanting more. You know what I mean? When that dude's on, I'm leaning forward. Like I think the same in sports. It's like, you know, I've always been the fan of the 6th and 7th man who comes in, and when they come in, they bring in energy. They're tough as fuck. Like you can see the whole arena, but the whole team is energized because that dude's on the court.
Yeah, because that's the guy who he's the 6th man who thinks he should be in the starting 5.
That's right.
Right. So his impact is a little different. He don't have time, right? He don't have time to get adjusted to the flow. He has to be the flow. Yeah. Right. So those are the guys that are so important to the team because he feels he belongs in the starting position. And then for a coach convincing him that it's not how you start the game, it's how you finish, and now he has to listen to that bullshit. No, like I want to start because my name get called, the people cheer me on, right? So those guys are the 6th man sometimes is the one who pushes some of the stars even more because he wants that position. He wants the validation. And he knows he's a starter because the best player says, nah, you good.
And you can feel, and like you said, it's not that he's going to the press saying I should start. It's not that he's going in the locker room saying I can start. But when he gets out on that court, he is yelling it with every bit of his energy, dude. And I think that's really it. Like, you know, in my thing, it's like you're yelling it. It's like I deserve to be here. Like, motherfucker, I deserve to be here. I can do what y'all do. You know?
You know, some people, it doesn't come off as fear, but a lot of legacies is built on fear. I'm afraid to lose. I'm afraid to miss these shots. So I'm going to sit in here thousands and thousands. I'm afraid to go back to being poor, right? And, you know, I'm going to sit in here and like, so, you know, there's different ways of how people motivate themselves. And it's either out of fear, love, or anger, right? And it still hasn't been determined which one creates the best diamonds.
But it's the alchemy of that motivator with the individual.
Yes.
So what this new life of yours in podcasting and broadcasting and what you're doing, and as a player, what was your motivator?
Love.
How so?
I just loved the game. Like I loved being around it, loved watching it. Like I used to say, I'm a fan playing the game I love.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, I want to watch everybody. I want to look at, like, if, you know what I mean? I don't hate a player, right? I hate narratives. I don't hate a player. Like, you know, I'm going to, like, even if, you know, I'm a Laker fan, right? So I'm going to root against whoever we're playing against. But if someone says, what do you think about that player? Because I have a vote, I'm going to vote as a basketball fan on his greatness.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not biased. Right. So mine came from love, where I just love. I could not think about it. In the club, I'm thinking about the game. Right. If I'm at a bar, there's a game on, I'm focused on, forget you, sweetheart. Yeah. Just put your name on a napkin or something. And I'm, you know what I mean? So, you know, I'm one of those guys that loved it.
And where do you think that came from?
You know, my dad was a big basketball junkie, right? He was a Michael Jordan fan to the point where I didn't like Michael Jordan. Or it's not that I didn't like Michael Jordan. I didn't like the Bulls, right? Because the whole house was, you know, red and black. Like, who has a fucking house red and black, right?
Right? Out here.
The carpets red or black with spots and stuff, and the walls. Like, this is what, you know. He was just a Bulls. He was just a fanatic Jordan fan, and you know, and I remember the day I fell in love with it. I was a Penny Hardaway fan. Like, I liked Penny. I seen his highlights. Like, oh, I like that dude. And then when he beat MJ and the Bulls coming back, it was from that point on, I was a Penny Hardaway fanatic. Like, Penny dolls. Like, I was just like, you did, because of his face.
Yeah.
45 came back and he's sitting there like watching it, and the face he had, I was like, my God, I loved it.
Yeah.
Right. And I just became just a basketball junkie. Like, anything that had Penny on it, I wanted. I don't give a shit if it was just a word that said Anthony Hardaway. I needed the magazine, right? My dad gave me lunch money. It was going to, was it Foot Locker, buying the VHS tapes and all that stuff, and just watching it over and over and over. And then I remember I was in math class, and I'm failing math. And my coach was like, how are you failing math? And you're great at angles and horizontal, and you know these crazy angles, and you're talking about this player and his trajectory. And he's like, just use that in math class. Just imagine this is Penny Hardaway, and I'm like, oh, I can do that. And then that's how I started doing my math.
Yeah.
It became a student in math.
And tell me about your pops, and tell me a little bit about, you know, how you grew up and where you grew up.
So my dad was an actor, right? Aspiring actor. He was in Miami Vice, and then, you know, being in the Miami Vice, he wanted to be obviously in Hollywood. So he moved from Tampa to, I guess we got to Burbank, and then from Burbank.
Were you born when he was in Miami Vice?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Because I was born 81,
82,
so yeah, so 82. So he was
that like 80?
It was in 80. So I was, but I didn't, you know, I didn't know.
You didn't know what was
going
going on.
So, you know, moving to Hollywood, I didn't understand, you know, the acting part, but I was forced to be a student of movies, right? So I watch movies with a different lens just because, you know, my dad. So, you know, he was in Lionheart, you know, so he used to train with Chuck Norris. So he was in that era, the Chuck Norris, Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Was he a martial artist?
Yes, so he was part of that whole little cruise. Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
when we used to watch movies, I remember we used to like start when I started getting older. He'll be like, this is the best actor of all time, and he'll give me. Then it was Denzel, right? Tom Hanks and all of them, and then we'll just watch movies, and then he was like, "No, you need to see how he just makes it look natural, right?" And then he'll be working on his lines, and then I have to work on the lines with him as that. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things, and I'm like, yo, I'm looking at him, and I'm like, yo, you're not that. I'm thinking you're not that good. Like compared to like you're not giving me like there was no Tubi, there was no Tubi actors at that time, right? So to see what the bottom level of acting looked like, you're giving me the elites, right? And you're acting. This is Denzel and Will Smith. This is natural for them. Anthony Hopkins, he's doing it natural. You're acting, bro, right? Right. So it was like him, I'm going on an audition. I'm just thinking, you're gonna be home soon, right? But what I did learn was work ethic. I watched a man fail every week. I didn't get this part. Right, I got to go out to another audition, right? And he's giving the same energy, being excited. Like like when you're going to a game thinking you're gonna fail, you have that. He went into every single audition as he was gonna get the part and left. I think I'm gonna get the call. Right? And just seeing like the no after no after no, and well, next time, and just that.
Yeah.
When I started getting into my own and my sport and hearing failure, I knew what rejection looked like and how he dealt with it.
Straight up.
He didn't deal with it as rejection. He dealt with it, it's another opportunity. And I remember asking him, I said, Dad, now that you're retired from acting, I don't know if you can say you're retired because you didn't really get to get on like that. What was your biggest thing in Hollywood? And he said, you. I'm like, huh? He was like, I came to Hollywood to be a star. You was the star that I came to Hollywood to be. I failed. You succeeded. My failures didn't lead to me succeeding. It led to you succeeding. Because whatever I went through, you seeing, you understood, keep going. They shut this door, climb over the door, walk around the door, keep knocking on the door. And that was always been the approach. So when people say, why do you wear zero? It's because no one think I was going to do anything.
That's right.
Right? So when you're sitting here saying, all right, you're the 15th man. All right, for 2 months. Okay. Then I'll be number one guy. Right? That's my mentality. And it's always been, it's I don't know what failure looks like because he never showed my failure is keep going. It wasn't, oh man, I'm going to, be disappointed for
That's right.
For 2 weeks gaining weight. No, my failure was just tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
So and it was one of them things that I never, like I used to make the joke that, you're not gonna get it. But he never, like I never once seen him like, oh, I didn't get it. Just, they picked him? Okay, well, is there another one? All right, I'll be there tomorrow. Book me. Boop. It's like, okay. So, when you say, Gil, you missed 10 shots in a row, how do you take the last one? Because I didn't think, I got short-term memory loss, man. I don't remember them last 10 shots. Yeah. I'm going to bust your ass on this one. Yeah. And that, I guess it came from just visual. It's not like he taught it and he told it to me. It's just what I witnessed. And I tell, a lot of parents too that, you have to be mindful of what you do, especially in physical form. Like, saying it is one thing, but the physical, your kids is watching and picking up, and they're really associating everything you do with something. right? You know, and then, like my kids, like, Dad, why are you always happy? Why not? why not? Like, why not? What is? I have options, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you have options. So I'm choosing happy. Like, why would I choose? Why would I choose sad or mad?
Yeah.
And it's like, but no matter what, like, what is there? Like, like, it's a choice, and I'd rather choose being happy. Like, it seems like it. Like, I want to be immature. Like, I don't want to be an adult. That shit looks stressful. Yeah. That shit looks like a very stressful thing to do sometimes. I just want to be happy, kid-like. Like,
man.
See, it seems like a funner thing to do.
If you got a choice, shit.
Yes, of course.
Man, that story about your dad, that's the most beautiful thing. And so his motivation was love, right? And when do you think he became conscious of the effect that was having on you? And was that part of his conscious motivation, would you say? There's no way that he didn't at some point get frustrated, get down, but he didn't show you that. And do you think that was a conscious choice? Or do you think that was just who
it's his personality, right? But I do think, you know, being as an adult now, I think his was more fear. Because he's the only child that left and said, I'm going to go to Hollywood and I'm not coming back, right? So, you know, starting off being homeless and this, he didn't let them know, right? So I think he just looked at it as, you know, this is opportunity and I'm going to just keep doing it. And one day they're going to see me on TV and I don't have to go back and they call me a failure, right? And I just think that mindset is how he dealt with. I never really seen him like down. Like it was like, you know, he was a referee. He was like that, you know, because he was a single father. So I wasn't raised by my mother. I was raised by him. So, you know, it was kind of luxury too, because, you know, all my friends, you know, you had some that had both parents, but for the most part, as single parenting mothers was raising their boys. So everyone spent the night over here, right? So he always had to be the guy that had the positive attitude. So he was the guy after games, it'll be all right. We're just going to get some more work in and, you know, I'm going to get you some more playing time. You know what? I'm going to create another team for development, right? So he was always that type of guy. And, you know, I just like to watch everything. So I don't think he knew that I was always paying attention to everything. Right? It was just who I was.
But he knows, I mean, obviously does he know that sort of his ability to kind of get back and keep going and stay positive and it wasn't about failure. It was about tomorrow. Does he know the impact that had on you?
I don't think so.
No.
And it'd be the first time he hears it. Right?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, when I sit here and think about it, it's, you know, it's how he lived. And, you know, I use that, you know, to keep going. How can I have came back to him and said, oh, Dad, I didn't make the team. You know, I quit. Huh? What do you mean quit? I don't think I wanted to hear that because he never quit. So, you know, it's just one of those things that it wasn't even thought about. Like
that didn't exist.
It didn't exist.
That didn't exist. And what was the tone? I heard what you said about how, you know, sort of the role he played for everyone else. He was always a guy that would say, okay, work harder, positive, come back, be that pillar, that buoy in the water that you could hang on to. Was he that way for you, or did he push you?
Yeah, see, I was football. I wasn't really basketball yet. So he was already a referee and a basketball coach. He coached probably it was 15, 16 U. So I was 10, 11. So I wasn't really playing. I was just the assistant coach. Right. And I'm like, ooh, yeah, he talked to your mom today, boy. Like I was the aggravator, right?
Yeah,
you know?
Talking shit.
Getting thrown in the trash can.
Yeah.
Right. So
you can see it, bro.
But so he called his team the Dream Team Bulls. Right. Yeah, right. You can only imagine, right? Right. So that was his AAU team. It was called the Dream Team Bulls, and they was 80 something and 0. You know, no, they was just all just high level
Out of the valley.
Yeah, out of the valley, just all these high level kids, right? That he took care of, trained, and I was never good. I wasn't old enough to be on the team. It wasn't good enough to be on the team, right? But they picked on me so much, it turned me into a basketball player. Like, I can score on you. Then I'll just be in a room, just practicing, walking up to school, watching tapes, and that turned me into a basketball player. And I remember one day the other team needed, like, it was going to be a forfeit, or they needed a fifth guy.
Yeah.
And
to get whooped by the Dream Team Bulls anyway. Yeah.
And I ended up scoring 12 points.
Damn.
And my dad was like, "Look at you, right? Oh yeah." And he was like, "Yeah. So you want to be on my team?"
Yeah.
No. Right. And I'm gonna go to my division, and I'm gonna try out. And then he was like, "Well, if you're gonna try out, you got to prepare, right?" And then he bought me all this basketball stuff, gave me a basketball, and took me to the gym. And then he said, "I'll pick you back up at midnight." And then for the most part, it's the first day, work out for an hour real hard. And then after that, I was like, ah. Yeah. And then I'm just sitting at the park because I know he's not going to come pick me up until midnight. I never knew how much basketball was a thing for everyone. Like, I was that kid that sitting outside, you're talking about 6 a.m, and you're watching every single type of human being come with the basketball. Businessman in a suit, the Hispanic group that went from soccer to basketball then you have the Asian community playing 5-on-5. I'm just watching, just like, we only know when our friends come. Never knew the court was used any other time. Yeah. And then just watching 12, 16 hours of different humans. I'm like, this is the game of life. Like, when you're talking, like, I wouldn't see this businessman right here in his suit with his slacks on, right? Going playing football.
That's right.
But he just got out of the car, put his briefcase down, took some jumpers. And I'm like, this is it. This is youth. And I learned that from an early age. So I never missed a day of practice. My dad never missed, I don't even know if I was ever late to. He didn't believe in any of that, right? No matter if he had if I had a practice and he had an audition, we'd come to practice and he'd just be reading, and then he'd take me to practice. Hey, can you get a ride home? I'll find a way. And then he'll go to his audition. But for some reason, basketball was more important.
Yeah.
And I can tell you this, if he had to put money on it, there was no way he was putting money on me being an NBA player. Because it where my talent was, I really wasn't that good. I had the gifts, but he didn't know I had him in me. He didn't know I had that. He knew I was an agitator, right? He knew I had the ability to get beat up and just, you're gonna have to beat me up every day, right? He knew I was that dude, right? Like, you're just gonna have to beat me up every day. I'm not gonna fight back. I just want to see who's gonna break first. Right. You punching on me or me being punched on. Right. I always used to pick on the big guys let's just see who's gonna break first.
Yeah.
He didn't know that I was gonna be obsessed with being really good at it. So so once my game started turning, like, the overnight success came out of nowhere. So I remember I was at Birmingham High School. I was a JV player, not playing. And then the next year, I'm MVP in my league in varsity, right? That summer, while he's working, I'm training. I'm training and training and training. He's about to find out for the first time. So he used to work graveyard shift at UPS. So he used to leave like 1 or 2 o'clock. When he walked out of the house, I woke up and went to the park training. Right? So that was my training before school. Got my tape, got my moves down. As soon as he walked out and walked down the street, North Hollywood Park, worked out. So so from my freshman year to my sophomore year, the game was a 180. He didn't see it coming. And then from there, the junior year, the senior year, then, you know, me going to Arizona, and they pitched us on 5 years. Mm-hmm. We're going to redshirt you this year, and then 4 years, and then, you know, you're going to be our Jason Terry. Right? And my dad was like, okay, 5 years. And then I remember it was like a month into school and said, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be redshirt. I'm going to start. And then hung up. Right? And then next thing you know, first game, Dad watch the first game. We're playing against the Pumps. 25. Damn. 5, you know, I'm waking up at 5, doing 5 miles, and, you know, I just loved it. I just loved it, man. It's like me podcasting, right? I just love this talking basketball. I just love that, right? Just watching greatness. I love, even though I never, you know, because of my injury, I never got to that level.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So like, you know, I played baseball and football and box, right? In school and college, all that. But I grew up in a basketball family. Like my grandpa played college basketball. My dad played. My little brother played for Princeton. And my dad has like one of the, and he was everybody's coach, kind of in a similar way. And he's got one of the oldest pickup games in DC. He's got this. It was like the game started in '71, and it was like one of the first real integrated games in DC. And DC's been through a lot, as you know. And but you know what my dad always said is, if you get a guy on a basketball court, he said, in 3 minutes I can tell you exactly what kind of person he is. Yeah. He's like, I can tell you exactly what kind of person he is by the way he plays the game. Do you think that's true?
No, that's true. Right? You have some sheep's in wolf clothing.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yes. Right. It's going to be a over exaggerated. You have let me see. I'm trying to think of someone like Draymond. Like, because Draymond is a protector, right? He's a protector on the court, and he's a protector off the court. So if you guys are in a club and someone's trying to jump you, don't know you, he's gonna jump to protect you. That's just who he is. So for the most part, who you are on the court is.
Well, I think also when you're talking about playing pickup in a park especially because it's like, are you a bitch who calls foul every time? Are you the kind of guy who gets on your teammates? Do you pass? Do you rebound? Or you do just off the jump setting screens and like about that work ethic? Are you only taking shots and you're just blind to everyone else?
Yeah, because if you're blaming everybody else for shots, that's who you are. Not taking accountability.
I think so, man. I think so. When was it, do you think, that your pops, like I get that huge transition between that your sophomore year, JV to varsity, and you becoming the league MVP? Like, that's nuts.
Yeah.
What do you know about your dad's realization of that? What do you know about what that did to him emotionally? When was the point when he was like, okay, this is something different? Did things change? Like, how did that resonate within him?
Like, I know he was proud of me, of course, because he showed up every game.
Yeah,
right.
But he would have showed up if you sucked.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I was one of those guys that didn't need motivation, right? I didn't need that. All right, we need to go out there and. Right. I there was no, I guess in today's society, I'm what is considered non-sportsmanlike type of player. I don't look at score, right? If you're down 100, fucker, you're going to be down 150, right? You know, there's no babysitting. You come and you score because I'm going to be one of those type of guys. Come on, let's score, baby. Your mom wants you to score. I'm going to, so I don't need to be talked into doing something. So we never really had discussions on, man, I'm proud of. I can see it.
Yeah.
Right? You know, going up to the game, you got your jersey on. You know what? I was his favorite player. Well, besides Michael Jordan and LeBron, right? I just realized that because like a few months ago, I was cleaning out something, and he had every newspaper that I ever was in high school clipped up. Like, he had this mural that I did not know of. He had it's 3 murals of my sophomore year, junior year, senior year. And it had every article that I was in. Like, so I'm reading some of the articles, and I'm like, Mark McGuire's on the cover, and I'm right there. Sammy Sosa,
Wow.
the black one, or not the new flamingo looking one, the original one.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at these articles with these guys, and I'm like, yo, I was really in the article with Mark McGuire doing this home run, hitting sluggish, like, and he has it saved, like, and it just made me look like, man, he really cared about what I was doing. Right? Like, he really, like it was a machine for me. Like, you know, like some of the stuff I was doing, like, I'm reading stuff, like, I've never seen none of this stuff or read any of this stuff, but he was on it. Right? So I know he was proud.
Yeah.
Like, he has shoes I gave to him as a rookie. Signed and everything. He has it. First jersey. Like, he has my first basketball jersey. Running Rebels, he has when I play, like, it's this big. like you look at you like, wow. Oh, it's this big. Like, he has it. Wow. He has it all. He gave it to me. It's like, you know, I know you like collect jerseys, and these are probably the most important jerseys. And I'm looking at him like, wait, what?
That's so beautiful, man.
And I'm like, I mean, I can't put this up there with Michael Jordan and all of them, but, you know, I'm gonna find a space for it.
On, man.
I know it is.
But I mean, like, as a dad now, I mean, how has that made you sort of like rethink about your guys' relationship and how is being a father now and the way that you look at your kids? How has it made you think about him doing it on his own and the sort of a style of parent that he was?
To be honest, like, yeah, if we was comparing, he's Denzel and I'm him as an actor. right? Right? It's like, because when I seen it, I was like, I don't have my son's first article. I don't have his first jersey. It's like, oh shit, I failed. That's like, right? He cherished these things. Yeah. And then, like, I have the pictures. Yeah. Right? Because he didn't have phone in, so I'm like, I got pictures. But, you know, to see some of this stuff as, you know, when I was a child, just like, wow. Like, you was really a proud father. Like, I wasn't like a convenience, like, or inconvenience for you. I was like, you was really proud of what I was doing, even from when I was not even good. Right. That is crazy.
That's yeah.
Like, even when I'm sitting on the bench, I'm not good. You have this jersey still?
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah. Man, that's beautiful. And so when you start to when you get to Arizona, what was that like now? You know, what was that like playing in front of crowds like that, and how was that different from your high school experience? And
you know, when I chose to go to Arizona, it was a powerhouse team. It's you know, they just won a national championship, but 2 years before, 97. So I got there in 99. So 2 years before I got there. So, you know, the expectations was high. They have the number 1 point guard in the country, number 1, number 2, coming in, named Jason Gardner, right? So I'm a point guard, shooting guard. The shooting guard that they have, he averaged 10 that year. So he's coming back as a starter. Then you have a kid named Luke Recker coming in he went to Indiana. He transferred there. We have a kid from Lithuania transfer. We have there was a bunch of transfers coming in. So I'm being redshirted because of the age. So, okay. And, you know, first practice coming in, and I'm looking, or it wasn't even practice. It was like a pickup game. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm the best player here.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just like, I'm, and then I remember Jason Gardner is my roommate. And I was like, yo, I'm going out for the starting shooting guard. I'm going to go for it. And he was like, all right, let's go. Because he was a starting point guard. So he was like, go, roommates, guards, freshmen. Let's go.
Did he believe? Did he believe you had a shot?
He didn't know.
How would he?
He didn't know what I was. He didn't know nothing about me.
Yeah.
Right. And that was my gift. The only person that knew what I was or what I was capable of is the starting shooting guard, because we played against each other in high school. So he was the megalodon. I was under him. So he was the number one scorer. I was behind him. But when we played against each other, annihilated him. Had a quadruple doubles, like 46, 13, 10, 11.
Where'd he go to high school?
He went to Bell Jeff.
Okay.
In Burbank. His name was Ruben Douglas. So I remember.
And so is that part of the equation? I mean, are you doing that math? Look, I know I could kick. I know I can get him.
Yeah, that was me and my dad's discussion. He's like, well, I was like, well, I beat him in high school. He's like, well, he played 1 year in college. I was like, well, I got better too.
Yeah. So your dad's saying like, dude, you're nuts. Like, chill out.
Yeah, he was like, because I was like, I played him in high school. He was like, I was like, well, I went through triple teams since then, right? So I got better too. So if he got better and I got better, I'm pretty sure it's still the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. So that was my math equation. So when we got there, and I told my roommate, I was like, listen, I'm trained, so I wasn't going to class, right? I was like, I got fucking 5 years in the school. I need to be fucking A student for today, right? So I'm going to the rec center. So I'm just, wake up in the morning, go to the rec center, playing against all the local Pima College, all these, these kids, and I'm just dominating. And they were like, yo, you should try out for the basketball team. I'm good, right? Because they didn't know who I was. There was no pictures back then. There was no real internet. So no one.
Yo, you should try out for the basketball
So no one knew who I was.
Right.
I remember my roommate was like, yo, there's a guy at the rec center that they said there's killing, and I should go look in on him. I was like, oh, that's what's up, right? And I was like, I'm gonna go to class, right? Yeah. Right. So I did the opposite. Then one day I thought he was a class, and he came, and I'm in full-fledged flight mode.
Yeah.
And he was like, wait a minute. So you're the dude? He's like, yo, what's going on? Because when we're playing as a group, you're ass. And I was like, oh no, I'm just shooting. So when we played as a group, I just shot threes. No pump faking, no dribbling, no nothing. Right? So I'm just shooting threes, and I'm worse than Klay Thompson. Right? Right. I wasn't I wasn't on I wasn't shooting like him, but I only took jumpers.
Yeah.
Right. There was never no drives and stuff. And I was like, I'm just pretending this is my game.
For what?
So it was a chess move.
But why? Just to
I don't know what the logic was back then. It worked.
But what's the end game? What's the end game?
I wanted to pretend that this is what I did. So when we got into a real social group and it became time to prove who's who, this is what they think I do.
And then you come in and fucking
then I play my regular
kill
game.
everybody. Yeah.
Right?
So it's yard tactics.
Yeah. So we're sitting there measuring. So what happens is
and sorry, but these dudes in this game, they're not the dudes on the team.
No, okay. In at the rec center, that's regular basketball. So I'm working on my skill. Those are just regular kids, right? When we're doing like pickup games at 2:00 and it's the team, I'm just shooting threes. Just chucking threes.
And there's no coaches there.
There's no, they sit in like the stands watching.
Okay.
So I'm not pump faking. I'm getting blocked, right?
And you're not worried about how they perceive you. That's not normal, right? I mean,
I'm pretty sure they're like, when did he just turn into a 3-point shooter?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that came through their mind, but no one told me that. Right.
But you weren't worried that they'd be like, yo, what does he did? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Okay.
And then once official practice started, I remember coach said, all right, Jason Gardner, you're captain, and Lamont Frazier, who is the backup point guard that he was JUCO runner-up of the year. He was a combo guard. You're a captain. Pick your teams. All right, Jason, you get first pick. He's like, I picked Gilbert. And coach was like, that's interesting. And then, Lamont,
he said those words?
That's interesting. Yeah. And then he picks, Lamont picks Lauren Woods, who was our best player. And then Jason Gardner picks Luke Walton, right? So now you have basically the red shirt and then like the 7th or 8th man.
Yeah.
And then, so basically what it looked like was the starting 4 on that group, and then our starting point guard, and then the mischiefs. But what Jason Gardner did was he said, I'm the point guard, guaranteed. I want you to be the shooting guard. So therefore, everybody on this team is passers for you. He said, I know I really know how you play. So we're going to just be passers to you. So now, as soon as games start pump faking, fuckers just flying, like, driving, dunking. They was like, what the fuck is this? And the first 2 days, they didn't know what hit them.
Yeah.
And he wasn't ready for the punch. Yeah. It's like pretending to be left hand the whole time. Right? Southpaw, and then you come out with your natural style. Yeah. And they've been training and studying you as a southpaw. It just took them
dismissing you because you can't even really fight that well left hand.
Yeah. So you're like, you're trash.
Motherfucker.
And then overnight, I just took I ended up becoming the best player. We played the red and blue game. I had 35. That guy had 5. He quit.
Damn.
He quit. He didn't even fight. He transferred.
Damn.
So he transferred.
Because he knew there was no beating. That this was a whole different.
Yeah. It was to the point where he was like, well, the fact that I outsmarted him, but I look so much better. Because imagine if you think a guy just shoots threes and now he's pump faking. Yeah. And think about the defense you've been playing.
That's right.
Now your whole confidence is gone because he's doing something you don't even know what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then me and Jason had a tactic where back then both guards got back, right? Both small guards got back, and I crashed the boards. And then it was just my luck that for the most part, 80%, I got the offensive rebound or tipped it back in. And when I didn't get it, I'll pick your guy up, you pick my guy up. So now I'm picking up full court, and then we'll switch. So coach is like, that's a good ass tactic.
Yeah. That's
right. You know what I mean? So instead of both getting back, one picks the ball up while the other one guards this guy, and then at some point they'll transfer their duties.
Yeah.
So we're teaching the coach a whole nother style to roommates. Wow. And then from there, first preseason game, I'm the starting shooting guard, winning NIT MVP. And I turned that trajectory of 5 years into 2 and left after my sophomore year.
Did you two become best friends?
Yeah.
Yeah. To this day?
We once I got to the NBA and he stayed, we kind of, because, once I got to the NBA, it was more, it wasn't like I wasn't glitz and glory. Yeah. Right. I mean, we had 5 of us actually entered. He went back. My roommate went back. But, I'm coming off the bench or, I'm trying to make a name for myself. And, so my whole mental went into a dark mode of just training and all this stuff. So, I lost contact with him those first couple of years. And,
And that.
Now he's recruiting my son.
Yeah. Oh, is he?
Yeah. He's assistant coach at Arizona now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he? That's what's up. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just and just bear with me on this, man, but just talk to me, just like just talk to me about sort of like first impressions with DC and that city and what it means to you and what do you take from it? Where does it sit in your heart?
They raised me, raised me from an immature kid to an immature man. Right? When I got there, I was on vacation. Costa Rica was the first vacation I had. I had to borrow money from Eric Dampier, my teammate, because I spent all my money my first year. So I was on a budget for those 2 years because I went into the second round, gave my dad lump sum, and then I bought me a car and end up not going where I thought. And so I didn't have any money for 2 years, right? So I had to borrow money for a vacation because I knew I was going to get paid big money. So when I got back, I heard that Jordan's not going to be on the Wizards, and they were coming after me. Mm-hmm. And I remember we went there, talked to Abe. First question my dad, because my dad's a Jordan fan. So he was like, so why isn't Jordan here? Because he wanted to go there so he can meet Jordan again for third time. Because I did a Jordan camp, so I had to. That was the only thing he forced me to do. Yeah, Jordan camp, so he can meet Jordan.
Yeah.
Right. So he can come pick me up and drop me off, and he get to see Jordan and all. Yeah, there's some pops.
Yeah.
So when we scheduled for, when he wanted the Wizards is because of MJ. So the first thing he asked Mr. Poland is like, why isn't MJ here? Like, and Mr. Poland told him, and then told him the story. And then my dad realized he picked the love of basketball and his team and what his team thought over legacy, over Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan, the way he was talking to some of the guys, those young guys didn't like it, and the owner stood up for them. Like, we don't want him here. Come on, I know he's Michael Jordan, but we'll feel better if he's not our owner. You know what I mean? We're scared of him as a player. Imagine if he's owner. And then he was like, okay, I understand. So the fact that he did that for the team, my dad was like, this is a good man.
He respected that in A. Poland.
Yeah. Like the man, like he's a good man.
Yeah.
Right. This has nothing to do with, like, he chose men over money.
Yeah.
Right. Because having Jordan as the owner and all that, of course your team go up. And it's like,
what was it? I mean, like, I've heard the stories of like Kwame and stuff like that, but like, what do you think that was with Jordan in DC? Like, how has it been explained to you? Like, what went down?
It was the best basketball player that ever lived. It was a six-time champ who never went to a game 7. Right. It was the Michael Jordan we talk about. You can't turn that off. Right. You can't turn that competitiveness off. Like, his competitive does not have an age limit on it.
Right.
Right. So when you put that type of, you don't call it a lion or a tiger, it's a liger inside of this cage. He only knows to eat. He's not here to fucking babysit.
Yeah.
So the fact that this was a time where babysitting was entering the NBA, right? You're talking about 2001, where we're talking about the era of high school kids coming in at a large amount. I mean, for the most part, I was a second rounder and I'm coming in at 19.
Yeah.
The oldest player was Shane Battier in the lottery. Other than that, it was a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-olds, right? Yeah. So it was the age of babysitting, and you're telling Michael Jordan, the hunter, to be a babysitter to a young group. He can only be Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Right? So that type of mindset came across horrible to these young kids.
How does that manifest? I mean, just because there's just zero tolerance for weakness, because there's no, how does that manifest? I mean, there's got to be some grown men in that locker room, right? There's nobody that's like, yo, let's follow that.
Still Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Right? It's no different. Michael Jordan in 2001 was Kobe Bryant in his last couple years, where Kobe can't turn off of, he can't accept, we're rebuilding. What the fuck is, give me some better players around here. Who are these guys? Yeah. Take off when you hear them stories of that group, man, y'all, this is what y'all going to take off my shoes. Y'all not allowed to wear my shoes. He can't turn off the passion.
Yeah.
You can't turn off of, I've built my name off of winning, and you put me in a situation of non-winning. Those guys, to him, he doesn't respect it. Like, and the people Kobe didn't respect was this. If he called you at 3 a.m, which was a test, hey, what are you doing? I'm asleep. Well, I'm about to work out. Come to the gym. If you don't come to that gym, he lost respect.
Yeah.
He don't give a fuck if you sleep. He don't give a fuck if you're drunk.
Yeah.
Come to the gym. Work out. Be tired, but work out. He respects you as a player because he does it. He's doing it. The same with Jordan. So he couldn't turn it off. So that was what those young guys, it was a young team. It wasn't an older team. For the most part, those guys was 18, 19, 20, 21. Most of the guys was under 24.
Yeah.
They were scared of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So you can't fault MJ for not turning off MJ.
Right.
Right? You heard about when he got to Charlotte, he's playing the guys one-on-one still because he's MJ. Right? So after I had the conversation with him and we went and talked to all these other teams, And my dad was like, he will be a father to you more than anything, right? He doesn't look at you like a product. He look at you like a human. And there, you can rarely find people in power to look at you like a human and not a product. That, you can't buy that, right? So, you know, at that time they had like 53 million. He said, you know, and there was people at, you know, 55, there were someone at 72. And we were trying to, and I'm like, how much is him as a man worth?
Yeah. What's the price on that?
And he said, there's no price. And I said, okay, if you were me, what would you do? And I said, there's 72 million on the table and they have 53 right now. He said, I'm taking the 53. He said, because when it comes to negotiation time, I'm a human, not a number, right? He's going to look at me for the friendship we have. And my friendship is going to get me the extra millions that a number cruncher won't give me. So I was like, all right, okay. And then Brian Russell leaves, comes to LA, and then the salary cap goes up and they jump to 64 million. No brainer after that, right? We was going to go there at 53 million. So the fact that they went to 64, and, you know, I did just for social, I mean, it wasn't social media back then, but said, oh, I'm flipping a coin between Clippers and, you know, DC. And I think it landed on Clippers 8 times. And I was like, I'm just going to go opposite. I was going to watch it, right? Because, you know, there was things he said. There was no franchise guy here. There's no face of the city. You can be the face of the city. I'm going to push you. Just, and his words to me was, just get me out of this Jordan era, and you're my guy. Okay. So, you know, going there and embracing the culture, giving them, I think it was more of, what did I want from a superstar? And that's who I'm going to be, right? And I remember watching Dennis Rodman after he got kicked out of the game doing this, throwing his jersey out. And I'm like, man, whenever I become an NBA player and I'm a superstar, man, I'm going to give everybody my jersey. I'm going to just throw it. And that's what I ended up doing. And I became, I think just the personality became better than the player himself. And it became this whole little thing. Like, my 27 looked like 45 because of the smile and the energy and the throwing it out. And the city embraced it.
Oh, yeah.
And I embraced the city. Like, there was, like, I think, you know, the only negative thing that I had for DC wasn't me to them. In a sense of, I'm mad at them. I was more embarrassed. You know, when the gun thing happened, it was more me. I was ashamed and I was embarrassed of what happened. And like, damn, you guys believed in me and you guys had me here and I let you guys down. I don't want to be seen. I don't, you know, I zero. I don't want the legacy of zero, that jersey, to have that on it. Right. So that next year I came back with 9.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't have the 0 because I didn't want me coming back and that gun thing is tied to that number. So I said, I'll ditch the number and put 9 on it. So you buy number 9, goddammit, that's what you get. You get gun toting fucker in the locker room. Right?
Yeah.
You won't get that with Agent Zero. Agent Zero.
Yeah.
Right. So it was, but it was beautiful. Like it was like one of the best places I ever lived. It probably is the best place.
Where did you live?
Great Falls, Virginia.
You live in Great Falls? Yeah.
That was Great Falls. It was like, everybody was nice. I don't have no bad memory. Like, I don't even remember clubs. Never had a bodyguard. No one ever tried to rob me. I'm sitting there with jewelry on, and it's like, even I played at Berry Farms.
Yeah.
Never had, like, it's. I guess everyone just overall respected everything I was.
Well,
bringing
you did
to the
so
city.
much for the city too. I mean, talk a little bit about that, for you know everything that you did for the schools and for the kids. And I know there was that one kid. There's always that story about the kid who lost his house, right?
Yeah. Arnie.
Yeah.
Well, his name is Ace now.
Okay. Okay. Can you tell that story?
Yeah. So back then I was doing. It was I don't even remember. It was a dreams. It was a dreams. It was like a found. I don't know if it was a foundation, but it was just a thing I was doing for Christmas dream. Christmas dream. Oh, Christmas dreams. So one year I had was it Soleil and Genuine. We rented out the movie theater. I remember SpongeBob was coming out, and we rented out the movie theater, and they cooked for everyone. And I remember we were on the road. We was on the West Coast when I got the call that this event happened, and they were like, "Yeah, can we bring 2 more kids to the event?" Of course, right? And when I seen it, and he was all in smiles, like, "Oh my God, you're one of my favorite players, right? You're one of them. Kwame Brown's my favorite player. Like I said, it's like Kwame Brown's my favorite player.
Yeah.
You're one of my my second favorites." I'm like, "Oh man, enjoy yourself." And just seeing, like, hearing and reading what happened, it didn't match his attitude, right? Like I'm looking at a fun-loving kid, enjoying having, like, it was just the personality was genuinely just amazingly nice, right? And I'm like, is he affected? Is he not affected? Like, I mean, I don't know, because he lost his one was a twin. He was a twin, so he lost his twin sister in that. And then I was like, man, I want to be a big brother to him, right? So I adopted him until his father got out, and brought him to all the games, and it's just one of those things that I didn't, I knew it was going to hit him at some point, but I wanted to make sure that he knew that you have a support cast around you to make sure when it does hit, it's not life or death.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So our friendship is today. He was at my house. So I was in Paris. And he was staying at the house. Babysitting my son who's 17. But he's just there to rebound, and if he needs anything, so we're still just like this.
Yeah. And does he know that it was because you originally saw something in him? You saw the strength in him, even that didn't match the tragedy that he had gone through. Does he know that?
I used to ask him all the time, "Yo, like, do you think about it?" And what's so funny is he probably last year, he's like, "Yeah, man, big bro, I'm going through it, man. It's finally hitting me." Because he's a father now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a father, and his sons, your grandma and all that, and then kind of like, and then he had. I said, "Hey, man, you got to let it out, right? Got to let it out. I mean, it's shit. I mean, I'm glad it's hitting you now, and versus when you were a little kid. You know what I mean? And you could have been impulsive then. So he, took him a couple of days, and he was back to normal. But I remember when I got in trouble and he hit me and he said, "Man, they're so unfair. They don't know everything you did for people. I heard your comment when I said, man, you can do 99 things wrong. I mean, right. You do one thing wrong and everybody remembers the negative thing. And that's all they remember you for." And he's like, "No, dude, I remember the 99. My family remembers the 99. My friends remember the 99.
Yeah.
We don't remember the one." Right? So if we have to accept the one, then you're 99% great.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
And then when he told me that, it kind of lifted off this dark cloud that I had over me.
Yeah.
And then overnight, I became me again.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Like, we're talking about 2015, 16. 2015. This happened in 2010, so for 5 years.
So if I was gonna say 5 years.
5
so
years.
I mean, it's clear, man. Like that that gun thing and everything that happened, and like that really. I mean, of course, it had huge effects, and I know what it's like to get in trouble with the law, get the probation and the suspensions and all that. But it seems like what really hit you after talking to you now, just seeing it, is that there was a shame in terms of like letting down the city or letting down your, I don't know what it is, but like
the city, the fans, the kids, my father, it was like everybody who believed in what I stood for. Like, no matter what someone tells you, you can be something. Just go after it, right? So, like, it makes me proud where I see like the Dame Lillard's like, damn, man, Glenn, you finish where I fell, right? The Westbrooks, the Kevin Loves, right? Those guys are like, right? It makes me smile that the number 0 lives on, and it wasn't something that everybody looked like, I don't want that number, right? It was one of those things like, I want that. It was like,
Fuck
it
yeah.
became the 23.
Totally.
Like, and people didn't understand that, like, 0 trumped 23. 0's in football now.
Yeah.
Right? There's football. You know what I mean? So 0 is the most worn number now. And yeah, I started it, but whatever my story was and those kids gravitated to,
what is it?
It wasn't a negative.
What is the
like
0?
If you think about Dame, his story, Weber State, this and this, underdog, right? Why he wears it? Russell Westbrook,
yeah.
right? Underdog, right? It becomes these 0 to hero type of guy.
Straight up.
Where you didn't believe in me, you don't understand me, and I'm here now. And I turned into something because of the hard work and dedication, and you can't take that from me. You can try to keep me out as long as you want, but trust me, when I arrive, I'm arriving because I'm going to be prepared.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so to see these guys and, you know, that 0 just, right, it's, at that time, I thought I done disrespected the whole culture of a 0 to hero.
But in looking at the lens now of that being, 15, 14 years ago, whatever that was, do you, what's your perspective on it now?
See, my defense mechanism, right, is laughter, right? Try to downplay it so it doesn't seem that serious or it is not taken that serious. I think that's what everybody was more disappointed in, that I wasn't taking it serious, right? Obviously, I know it's serious because, they're trying to put 3 years on me. But my defense mechanism to myself is this. So it's like an outcry of just laughter, over laughing in a sense. But just like anything, you're supposed to take things serious if it's serious. Nobody understands jokes and laughter if it's labeled serious. Netflix is doing Untold on it. We already finished doing all.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's going to be part of the Untold story, the truth and all that stuff behind
Because,
it.
I mean, because the story in itself is crazy. I mean, just given everything that happened, what happened with him, it's a pretty crazy. That's the streets. I mean, it's the same. It's over bullshit. Yeah. You fucking said some shit on my people down Shreveport getting shot over shit you say on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like, it's based on some bullshit. You said, now you got to say something but I guess the difference is one, we're supposed to be grown, but 2, you're privileged enough that you actually have a fertile field. You actually have an environment where we can prove our man shit in a safe, healthy way that's actually putting money in our pockets. Yeah. We can prove it that way. We just go to practice, I'll bust your ass, right? Yeah. I mean, is that where the disappointment comes from? Like that, like in
the disappointment is we're supposed to be higher than how we act. All of us, right? For the most part, majority of players, whatever age mentally you come into it, is the age you stay, right? There's rarely any growth. You only get growth if you have an older team and you're a young guy and they're forcing you to be older, or you get a wife and so if you was taking, shots of Patron as a 19-year-old, pretty sure you're 30, 35, you're still on Patron. You haven't graduated to wine,
right,
unless someone tried to introduce it to you.
Right. Because
for the most part, you have to look at it like, let's say I'm 18, 19. I'm trying to get into the clubs, right? They got to remember, for the most part, these guys are not club eligible. You're rich as fuck.
Yeah.
Not club eligible.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're getting into the club, you're already on violation of something,
Yeah.
right? So you're sitting here trying to figure out how to create your own, how to be an adult. So now you're doing a whole bunch of hood parties, throwing parties, going to, like, you're right. So you're already out of your element. So you're still trying to be a kid.
Yeah.
Now, 20, 21, 22, the older guys who are married, they don't hang out with you, right? So the married men, they don't hang out with the young boppers like that, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna get me all fucked up. You're going to the strip club every hour,
Yeah.
right? Pulling a whole bunch of hoes. My wife ain't for that.
Yeah.
So there's this big disconnect. Now, what happens when you're 25, 26, 27? You never learned how to be 26, 27, 28, right? So what happened is when a younger generation comes, you're the fun guy. So you're taking them to the club and still being that guy. And you're in the club every day drinking Patron shots.
Yeah.
So you've never really grown up. So when you're averaging 30, you're an all NBA player, you're MVP, you're all these things in the public, but still an immature child in reality. So when you do some immature child shit, everyone's like, what is
Yeah.
who the fuck are you? What is this? This is you're not a you know what I mean? You get killed for it, right? I mean, this new generation is different because it's more privileged kids coming in, right? You have the Jaylen Browns, you have the Tatums, who's like, I babysitted Tatum. His father was Larry Hughes' best friend, so they understood NBA to teach him how to move in the NBA. Right, you're talking about, Jason Tatum. Brown went to Berkeley, right? Mechanics engineer, graduate, right? You got
people coming from all over the world.
Yeah, you got
now.
Curry's, you got even Drew Holiday and his family, private school or Campbell Hall, right? So you have a middle class and high class getting into the NBA now, versus it was just all bottom class. Right, so you have smarter kids who understand their branding, right? So I personally like this era better.
How come?
Besides the money, they seem like they have more fun. Right,
the game's less angry.
It's less angry, and so many personalities has went through the league for fans to see that when they do something that would have been considered horrible in the 90s, it's just, he can say this. Why can't he say that?
Yeah.
Goddamn right. Fuck him. Like, it's normal.
Yeah.
Like, I seen one of the WNBA girls say, what do you think about this girl? Oh, she's that bitch.
Yeah.
You couldn't say that you couldn't say that in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It should have been, ridiculed. But that's the game has evolved in people's skin. Even though people say no one has tough skin, I think the skin is a lot tougher because it's so much out there that people have to be, you can only be so sad for less than 24 hours before something else has done fucked with you.
Right.
So it's easier to get out of bullshit.
Yeah.
In today's era. So these guys, when, you can choke some guy today and then 48 hours, somebody else, some other asshole did something over there. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
And
everybody's heard about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have more grace in this era.
Yeah.
But just to see the way the guys have like embrace other things outside of basketball. Like, I feel that this generation is healthier mentally when they retire. They have an idea what they're going to be, what they're going to do. My era, and I'm pretty sure the era before us, they had no idea, right? Because that's all they knew, right? My first 4 years, when I was done, I didn't know what life was, right? I only knew basketball, right? And then because that's all I knew, when I fell out of love with it because everything it did and how I felt about, how I looked at the game itself, I'm not watching it. That became a dark place. Who am I? What am I? What do I do? What do I like?
How you dig out
I can't
of
watch basketball. What the fuck what do I like here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? like, okay, and then you start going back to your childhood. Okay, I like, I like Married with Children, like Al Bundy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, like, I like movies, you know.
Yeah.
Then I became a Netflix buff, you know, and then going to the movie. And then it was like, that's not fulfilling. Okay, I'm going to be a gambler, a professional gambler. Losing money is not fun.
At all, yeah.
You know, I lost $10,000 yesterday, won $100 a day, and I'm happy?
Yeah.
I'm down 9,900. The fuck is wrong with you, right?
Yeah,
It's like now this is rabbit hole trying to catch what I lost, losing more. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, while I was in the midst of that, I'm watching other players going down the same rabbit hole. And the gambling became life. Then now you're gambling, and that's your new fix because it takes up time. You can sit at a poker table for hours and you don't think of it as hours. And then you have the rush of missing shots, right? That's not hitting your hand, right? Hitting a game winner where you cleaned up right? So you can see the ups and downs of, oh man, he's about to be engulfed in this. He's about to lose millions or win millions. Then the drugs and then the women. And it's like this poker stuff is the new NBA. Because now you have the game, you have the girls, the easy access to girls. And then I was like, yeah, I don't want this. And then, you know, I remember I was watching John Wall. John Wall hit me. He was getting ready for the playoffs. Like, I haven't watched fucking basketball, right? You know, I haven't watched basketball since I left. John Wall hits me like, man, I'm going to the playoffs, man. And he said, since you watch every game, what should I work on? And I was like, oh yeah, you know, here, let me go get my notes that I've been writing. What the fuck? I didn't fucking watch shit. Like, the fuck is the record? The fucking like, all right, so I had to
motherfuckers in the playoffs.
So I had to like Google, all right, okay, he's been doing this, assist went up, shooting went down, right? Now I'm watching fucking highlights and seeing, then I gotta give him this summary of something I've never watched before. Yeah. Right? And then he was like, all right, man, just, you know, watch tonight's game and then, you know, give me the feedback. And then he asked me for the help. Then I'm sitting there. They're going against the Raptors, I think. And then I just instantly became a fan. And then instantly like, fucking Wizards. I'm a Wizard fan. Right? Yeah. And then I went in, found my Obama chair that's been in storage, blew it off, wiped it down, put it there, and sit in front of my Obama Wizard chair that he sat in. And I'm cheering and shit. Now I'm going on Instagram, like, fucking Toronto, you suck, your Raptors is horrible. Like, now I'm just being this troll of a fan, all because John Wall told me, what do you think about my game? And then all of a sudden, I'm a basketball fan again. I know, right? Damn. Just fucking just.
And so what's that, man? What does that suffice in you? What is that?
Feeling wanted.
Being of service.
Being of service, yeah. From the guy who came in to replace me. Yeah. Right? You got to think about like what it be, the guy who replaced me, and like, okay, here's the keys. And am I the passenger? Oh, no, I'm out of the car. Oh, okay, so this is a ride without me. Okay, got it. And imagine that you're sitting on the sidewalk and that car wrapped back around and come pick you up. And, hey, man, can you navigate me through this? Yeah. That's like, so fucking cool. Yeah. Right. And I'm thinking, you know, there's a LeBron James. There's, you know, there's these other guys in the league. And, you know, so him coming back and asking for help, and then, you know, from there, like LeBron was hitting me, you know, Kevin Durant, you know, Booker, like, you know, all these guys was, you know, asking for feedback, you know, and it was just like, oh shit, I wasn't a, you know what I mean, like, oh, I wasn't a failure in y'all eyes. Okay, I can stick my head out. Okay, cool. And then that's when, you know. I was
crazy that it started with John. And was there, for you, was there a feeling of jealousy or resentment towards John at any point? Or was there ever a feeling of like, that? Because look, in my mind, that's the second best Wizard, right? But behind you, right? So was there a feeling of when he became that guy, damn, that should that should still be me, or you weren't even?
No. So I remember I was in Chicago training. Like if you see the pictures, it was the beard with the just. I looked like I was 40 when I was like 20 something. I was training to whoever's gonna come in here. I don't give a shit who it is. You're about to get body bagged, right? And I remember we get the number 1 pick, and I was like, rigged, right? Rigged, like. The number 1 player in the country is John Wall, and we get the number 1 pick. What the fuck is this, right?
Yeah.
And the anger, like when you were talking about non-sleeping, oh no, I didn't even know what that was. I'm at the gym. I'm at Grover's gym training like a madman, right? When I get into training camp, young fella's about to get this work. He's going to wish he went back to college, right? And soon as
because of what we just talked about.
Yeah, no, because he was coming and he's coming in as the point guard.
Right.
In
My
position, like, oh shit, no, you're not taking my spot. This is my city.
Yeah.
And I remember, so I didn't come in until it was media day. So I'm not media day. Like, you're coming in, what's happening? And then he was like, he turned and, oh shit, Gilbert, hey man, oh my, I'm glad I'm your teammate. And I'm like, you know how like you're one of those tough guys. You're like, what is this? Is this love? Is this a hug? This is not what we do, right? And like he just like it was just like I don't know if that was a fucking tactic or what. He just hugged the shield that I built down, and I was like, oh man, like, hey man, look, if you need anything, and that first time, just his energy, and I'm like, yo, he's me. Just he's happy to be here. I'm like, yo, hey, before we even get started, this is your team. Whatever you need, clothes, shoes, advice, come to me. I'll give it to you. There's no beef here. Right? How me and the organization feel has nothing to do with me and you. You're the leader. This is your team, and I'm gonna guide you until I move on. And then his eyes is all wide, and so from day one there was no. It started off before I met him.
Yeah.
Oh, it was anger, and then once I met him and the joy he gave me when he seen me, I was like, oh no, this has nothing to do with him. Like all this anger I built, it turned me into something, but this man is no different than when I came in, just want to be a basketball player, right? He's not coming into politics. He just wants to be a basketball player. His dream probably was, as a little child, was to be an NBA player. And his dream is not to come in here and have a beef with a guy who's like, nah. Yeah. So that first day I let that shit go, and then it was just all smiles, and then until I got in there and went to Orlando. In sports is kind of the only place that your legacy is being not criticized, but dictated by a group of people that actually never played or touched it, right?
Totally.
Which seems weird, right? It's like a flight attendant, right? The stewardess being able to grade the pilot on the job that this stewardess has never done. She's never been behind one of those, never took no flight, and that's that was the media.
And would never be able to do it.
Yeah. But you're judging me because I fucking spilled your coffee, during some turbulence, right? The
fucking storm.
Yes. So, the old ESPN, TNT, the broadcasters themselves, the narratives of what they've pushed have just been way wrong. They've turned sports into debates of greatness, right? Not knowledge, right? And it makes the consumer, right? It keeps the consumer at level one, right?
I don't know about you, but how you feel about, other pro athletes or other specifically professional basketball players. But for me, what I really do care about is I really do care about how other people who do what I do on the level that I do it, what they think about me and what they say about me. And yo, he's here, he comes correct. Like that dude, like that's what. And so what you've done and what you're on the forefront of is taking people who have actually walked the fucking walk and come in here and like, this isn't about me manipulating. Say, hey, this is somebody who like, I could do that. I did do that. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, and like, I can give you a perspective on it. That is from somebody who has been there in the fucking trenches.
And that's what it is, because it's like you're saying this guy legacy is not here because he didn't take this shot and he didn't do this because this guy wouldn't have done it. Well, the game is not the same one. That position right there, that was a play. This play was to do this, pass it there.
Right.
He did it.
Right.
Yeah, that guy didn't make the shot, but that was the design.
Right.
If he would have tried to force this shot, he would have looked stupid. That's not the play.
That's right.
Do you know the play?
That's right.
Like,
how is it selfish when he's literally
that's
doing
what I said. You're talking about, okay, this play, they drew this up for Michael Jordan to take this last shot. This play was drawn up to suck the defense in, make the pass, get a three. We need a three. That is the play. Or we're going for the winner. So the fact that you've never been into practice, you never watched film, right? These guys do scout and report 82 games, right? You're watching it. And you get to vote who is a MVP, all NBA. Like, that blows my... Yeah. I'm a basketball fan. I have a crew of 4 of us. You can't convince us who MVP is. How do y'all come up with the answer? Yeah. We will sit and have if it was our lives on it. Like, you guys got to fucking today come up with an MVP. There's 4 of us. 3 of you guys, it's like fucking jury duty. Yeah. We will fucking fight.
Yeah.
On something that has nothing to do with us. And you guys can come out with an answer. You can't get 300 NBA players to tell you for sure this guy's the MVP or this guy's a defensive player. Because we will say, well, I don't watch the Knicks. Like, yeah, he's the Knicks fan and he's arguing for the Knicks. I don't watch him. He fucking sucks to me, right? But I didn't watch him. So because I haven't watched him, I can't even tell you how good he is. This is my team. I can give you every stat here. So the fact that we're NBA players and we can't watch all the games, how the fuck are you a reporter for this team? Yeah. And so that means you're just looking at pieces of paper and these numbers are dictating what greatness is? No, that's not how that works.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you're an authority and you got agency. Like you have actual power.
That's like me judging that's like me judging your acting skill off of what it does in the box office. Yeah. That's not how that works.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? The movie sales does not dictate how great the acting was or the actor was.
That's right.
So there's different ways to judge things, but when you do it off of, like, if I didn't watch that movie and I just look at the Rotten Tomatoes report, I'm doing the movie a disjustice, and that's what ends up happening.
And you're certainly doing a disjustice to the individual who wrote it and could have had all his lines changed by some shitty ass actors, or and an insider's perspective of somebody who's actually walked the walk, and also because this has real, not just financial, but has psychological, and this really affects the lives of the people that are going through it, and in a major way. I had a little brother who was a pretty good player, right? All city, playing college. And my thing was, I was like, I boxed, I did martial. So my thing was just go to the court, don't let anybody fuck with me. That's always been my thing, and that's still how I kind of play. And I particularly think that I'm very fucking valuable on a basketball court. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Seriously, I beat the fuck out of this motherfucker. My 8-year-old shit on this dude. But like, I love that. I love being that on a basketball court. Do you think that really has value? Does it have value at the highest levels?
A star needs an enforcer, because if he doesn't, everyone's going to attack him, right? So when you look at Michael Jordan, when Michael Jordan first started, his enforcer was Charles Oakley. And then you end up getting Horace Grant. Then you end up getting Dennis Rodman, right? Steph Curry and Clay, Draymond Green. Right, Dwayne Wade had Haslam, right? Kobe had Shaq, right? Jokic has his brothers,
Yeah, they sitting right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. So, and then, so for the most part, as a star player, again, you're not necessarily the rah-rah fighting type, right? So when you're going out there creating enemies because of your greatness, you need someone that you fouled him like that? I bet. Watch when you come in here.
Yeah.
You need that guy because he keeps you being a star. Because think about me driving in and Shaq keeps hitting me. At some point, I'm gonna be discouraged because I can't fight him back, right? So if I don't have a guy who's like, yo, you stop hitting on my dude like that, or we're gonna have a fight. You're like, yeah, get him, yeah. Hey, I'm coming in there again, fucker. Like you end up, it keeps you playing the game the right way and at a dominant level, right? Because the opponent's team is to take you out, to get rid of you, to get under your skin by any means necessary, right? That is the goal. There's another group trying to win, right? They don't give a fuck about your feelings. If you're going through a divorce, fuck your wife. Hey, I slept with your wife. Right? It's you're gonna say whatever it takes. That's what the point is. I need to, right? I need to win, right? Some guys are dark, right? You lost someone in your family. Trust me, they're gonna put in a guy who's gonna go there. So if you don't have an enforcer, if you're not level-headed, right? You're out of the game. They don't give shits. They don't care. Right? No one, because in history, they're going to be like, well, he only lost because, they talked about, his mom dying, give him a little grace. No, you lost, bro. That's all they're going to say. We don't know why Michael Jordan got 6 rings. We just know he has 6 rings, never played game 7. We don't know what the fuck they was telling another team. And that's history, right? So, enforcers, guys who's willing to fight, guys who's willing to stand up for their teammates is valuable. If you do not have one, then your star is going to have a hard time. There's a reason that you've never seen Steph chucked out of the air, hit no dirty shots, because they know there's an actual psychopath on our team.
That shit has real value.
He's going to choke the fuck out someone. And he's not here, and we do some stuff. When he gets back, he's going to choke the fuck out of somebody, right? So him on the team keeps the Wolves away from Steph Curry. Yeah. And that's why Steph can run around at play like that. Yeah. Right? Think about it, AI. There was a long time, they're chucking AI out of the air. Steph never been through that. That's all because of Draymond. So when people are like, get rid of Draymond, you get rid of Draymond, you leave everybody open for Curry. Nah. If you don't have those guys, you can get bullied on an NBA court.
So tell me about your kids and my kid who he's 11 and plays AAU. He went to go see your son play just this past year. Man, Gil was there. He saw you there and all that. Just what's it like raising athletes now? How different it is? Your kids obviously are growing up a lot different than you grew up. Just talk a little bit about that.
It is different, and we end up sounding like our parents, right? Well, back in my day, yeah. So, I try to tell them. I'll show them, right? I can tell them. I said, look, just life itself. While you're on a video game, somebody's working. You're privileged, so you're at a disadvantage naturally, because there's somebody who don't want to be at home because they have fighting parents, probably parents on drugs or whatever. So they spend themselves outside at the basketball doing that. And he's turning into something you probably don't want to see as a privileged child. He's going to eat you for lunch. So the fact that you are coming from privilege, you got to have your own inner demon, right? So my first team I put him on was the Cavs with Coach Daryl McDonald, where he's a no-nonsense type of guy, right? He's going to make your son cry from the ages of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until they just understand all he knows what to do is yell, pull you out, and keep you accountable, right? You're 7 years old and you come late to practice. As a child, get on the line, run. Well, my parents had work. I don't care about your parents. You let them know you're supposed to be here, right? You hold your parents accountable. 7-year-old's like, well, I got to get to practice or I'm going to run, right? So it teaches the kids how to be accountable, how to be yelled at an early age. So when they get yelled at later, so now you know, from 7, 8 to 9, they're walking with their tails on, to eventually that they get built up to understand that this is probably one of the worst personalities you're going to see when it comes to keeping you accountable. There's no babysitting. So now I have a child and kids that became superstars that were treated like hard workers. So my kids will run through the wall for you because that's all they know, because that's what he told them to do.
And what about from you? What about from you personally, right? So I get it. It's like kids who don't have sort of a built-in level of adversity that they're facing day in, day out. You know, we as parents, we have to provide that kind of adversity. And hopefully we're doing, you know, you're doing it with a coach. I'm doing it, making my kid fight competitively. Like, you're not growing up in DC. You're not growing up with some things that I grew up with. So I've got to create these things for you, and I can do it in an umbrella of safety, and we can do it in a way that's healthy. I mean, there must be all kind of sort of thoughts and feelings about you being who you are, and they grow up with that pressure. Is that pressure good? How do they make that pressure work for them? And they're growing up with sort of naturally, look, you have this in your blood. And that's a pressure that, again, can either work for you, work against you. How do you turn that into a chip that makes it work for you?
See, I tell them, yes, I played in NBA. You know, I made the All-Star. I was all NBA. At that age, you don't need to compare. If you want to compare yourself, compare to me when we were the same age. You're better than me, right? You were better than me at 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You're on the right trajectory. I said there's going to be a point in time, though, where I turn into an animal. So either you turn into an animal now or you're going to turn. But if you're comparing yourself to me, but I'm going to teach you how to be better than me. That's my job. I can only give you so many tools, but at the end of the day, you still have to learn. I can't want it for you. I can't shoot for you. But I can say right now, I said, if me and you was competing for the same spot, you have more talent than me. The problem is I'm going to beat you in the race because I won't stop. Like your talent scares me, which means I'm going to sit on this shooting machine all fucking day till my hands bleed. I'm going to put tape on them. And then I was like, and he was like, I shoot all the time. Why can't I beat you? Because I shoot all the time. He's like, no, you don't. That's the illusion I give you. See, I wake you up at 7:30. I started shooting at 4:30. And then I reset it back to 0 and put the balls back like you were the last shooter. So when I challenge you and say, I'm coming off the couch, I'm lying. I said, I've been lying this whole time. I just didn't stop. I shoot every day, 300 to 400 shots a day. Then I wake you up just in case you want the smoke. And I said, and that's who you have to train for. Someone like me. I've been tricking you this whole time. And then I've been beating you in shooting. And you have thought that I haven't been training this whole time when I have. I said, so now imagine if we restart. How are you supposed to train? You have to train for somebody that you can't even see coming. See, just like you were the worst player on your team and you became this, there's somebody you just beat on that you're going to see next year that set the whole summer like, fuck that, he made me.
Been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you.
I said, so you have to prepare for all of it. And then when it comes, trust me, it's going to get the best of you. And when it get the best of you, you get to come back. This is not a 1 year, 2 months. You can't go out here and be like, yo, I took 1,000 shots today, and then you think you fucking Steph Curry. Steph Curry built Steph Curry since he was 10. Whoever you're going to be has been starting already. You just got to continue.
And what is it you want the most for your kids? Like, what is it that you're looking for?
Do something, do what you love. and do it to your best ability, right? And if you're not doing something you love to the best of your ability, then what are you really doing? Now you're just out there content. Never be content. There's no, like when somebody, like when people say, man, you're rich, why are you doing this? Why is a billionaire, why is Elon Musk trying to be 200 billion?
Yeah.
Right? I'm pretty sure he could have stopped at 1 billion, then 2 looked exciting, and 5, then 20, then like it's not about the money. It's about, I don't even know if it's legacy. I'm building something. I want to build fucking Tesla houses that can fucking float. I don't know what the fuck he thinks, but whatever it is, I'm fucking rooting for it. You know, I don't mind having a floating house today and I'm fucking over there tomorrow. It's fucking cool, right?
Yeah.
But that's it, right? You have to set a goal. When you get to it, set another one. When you get that, set another one, right? And I tell them that's how you build confidence too. My son, I started my kids off with, right? Make your bed every day, right? It's patterns, you know, give them goals, give them habits, right? So, you know, you have an 11-year-old, it's just him adapting a bunch of habits now, early. So I tell parents, like, give him habits, right? That's the most important thing. Like, it has nothing to do with like what he's going to do. It's just the habits first, right? Like, make your bed every day, right? So now you're waking up 31 straight days and you made your bed. After you make your bed, right? If you take a shower, brush your teeth, right now you did 3. Those are 3 habits that you have instilled. They're robotic for you now, right? You don't even have to worry about him anymore because he already has the foundation of his habits.
Your thoughts on AAU, U sports, the specializing, just doing one sport, and just sort of like the state of the kind of like high level travel youth sports right now.
Very different. It's a money grab now. And I think it gives everyone a false entitlement of where they are, right? Everyone wants to be pro, right? That's the thing in life, right? When it comes to AAU used to be for the elite only, right? So you had to try out for. So there was really only a few teams. So in the Valley, there was only 2 teams in the Valley, right? Third was like borderline, maybe once a month we can go. Other than that, you was in the Park League. And then from there, the best player in the Park League, y'all have like a Park League All-Star game. And then you do that. And then you go to this other league where most of the high level Park League guys. And then from there, you're getting recruited to the AAU. Yeah. Right? Trying to make a team. And if you don't make it, you
still got to try out.
Yeah, if you don't make it, fuck, you got 3 or 4 months to try that shit again and do it. Right? So it instilled a work ethic in you because of failure. You didn't make it. And right, it was this competitiveness of trying to be on that team because there's only 12 spots. Now you have teams where back then the coaching staff we had, they're one team. He has a high school team, right? That was it, a high school team, which from 9th grade to 12, most of the team was 11th and juniors. If there was a freshman on there, 0 minutes, fucking 5-star. If a freshman was on an AAU team, he can go, right? He didn't even have to perform, but he was a freshman on a team that was mostly juniors and seniors, means he was special, right? So now when you see programs that got like 14 teams, you got a gold team, platinum team, silver, bronze, and you're sitting here like, you don't teach. There's no teaching. So now as a parent, you need a personal trainer now. You need a personal trainer to enhance your kids' ability to play. Because the AAU, you got to practice once a week or twice a week and some shit. Some of these high-level teams, they don't even have practice.
They just play tournaments.
Right? So now your child knows how to play basketball or play, but don't understand it, right?
And doesn't really know how to work at it.
Unless
he's got the money for a personal
trainer, right? So now, and that's where, right, the privileged kids have taken over because they got the money to get trainers all the time. So now those trainers is training these kids. Now the hood kids sitting at the park all day, you're irrelevant now. But I just think it's watered down. Now NIL is involved. Now it's right now it looks like it's destroying the kids more than it's helping the kids, because now the best interest of your child growth is capped off now, because now it's all about money. Because now the parents that want the money, I don't give a fuck who's on the team. They're saying they're giving 100,000. You're going on there. You're damn near Kobe Bryant on your team. Now you're going over here being Derek White, right? And you're trying to get a scholarship. I'm trying to get to the fucking pros, and I'm trying to get a scholarship to college. I'm not going to get a scholarship being the 9th man because he wants to win a tournament so he can keep charging fucking premium to everybody else. So they're trying to get all the best players on this one team, and you are the best player on your team, and they're coming to recruit you. It's the bags being chased. Now these kids got to transfer 42 times.
Yeah, crazy.
So now there's no accountability on sitting there, going through adversity, and being great and coming out of it. You're now, oh, I don't play here. I can just go somewhere else. I can just transfer. I don't care.
Perhaps some of the best thing that can come out of sports anyway is the relationships and how you grow with people. And it's a bunch of people that have been playing together, and it's like, hey, fuck these guys. It's us against them.
Yep.
Instead, I was talking to my friend who coaches football at Mater Dei, and he was saying, back in the day, I remember playing high school football, like, we hated those guys.
Yeah.
Like to this day, somebody comes up to me in a St. Albans jacket. I won't say, hey, can you sign my shit? Once you take that jacket off, I ain't fucking signing that shit. But now it's like all these kids have been going to camps together. It's all about the individual. So there's really no even rivalry. They're like, shit, I'll come play there if there's a better spot for me over there.
Yeah.
Nobody even sticks together.
Yeah, I mean, we can't look at it as that. They're just, the kids today are privileged to work out with each other.
That's fair.
Right. You know what I mean? Like I don't mind the elite kids working out with each other because you're testing each other every day.
Right.
Right. So in theory, you're enhancing each other individually.
Yep.
So now go to your own team and dominate versus just teaming up. Like you can't be an Avengers, right? You can't just but there's not a big enough there's no Thanos for you guys. Right. So the fact that you're being Avengers without a bad guy is the bad part of it.
Yeah.
Because what happens is in Avengers, if you look at them, they're all doing a little bit of a little bit. Right. You're not, the Hulk is not being a Hulk the whole time. Right. Right. So that's you guys. You guys, you don't even need to turn into Hulk. You can be Banner the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Go out there, have 4 or 5 points and cheer, and you're up by 100 points. And you spent the whole year, you didn't get better. Yeah. You didn't challenge yourself. How many game winners you hit? 1, you didn't take any. You're up by fucking 60 every game. So no one's even tested your ability to play in crunch time. So now the time where you're supposed to live and die, your emotions, learning how to turn off the crowd, you didn't even go through it in high school. Yeah. So now when you get to college and these games get intense and you're fucking choking, it's the first time you felt it.
Yeah. And you've never been without your security blanket of these other dudes and this pro. And so what's your advice now? Like, what do you say? Say your kids were real young. Like, what's your advice to people just
stand on your own? It's no different than the wild, right? Remember 300, right? They put him out in the cold, and you come back and you're the leader. That is reality, right? You have to be able to stand on your own feet first before you can stand with others, right? So you need to be put in situations where you have to do everything, right? I need you to go beat Luka and Jokic. There's a reason Luka and Jokic and Giannis is them, because where they come from, they have to do everything. Right? They're coming in as Army Swiss knives. So when people say the Euro's taking over, there's some. But these guys had to be Army Swiss knives. So they have so many weapons that they don't need them all. Right? You came in and you know how to sniper, I can put my sniper away. Right? I can be a guidance. I can do this. And that's what we need to be teaching. Right? some of these high-level kids, you go on a team where you're the best guy, but what ends up happening when you're the best, everyone's trying to stop you. Now you're being double teamed, triple team, quadruple team. Now you have to rebound, stop the best player, break the press. You need to do it all. You know, hey, your teammate is down. You got to pass the ball. You have to. So now you're just adding in all of this armor onto your skill level. Right? It's like, you know, if you say your son fight, it's like put him in boxing, MMA, Taekwondo. We don't know what your sport is going to be yet, but I know, God damn it, if I put you in everything, God damn, you're going to be something fucking indestructible. Shit, right? That's right. You have no choice.
That's right.
Right? You have no choice. It's not like saying, all right, Floyd, you know, you're a boxer and we just skip in boxing. Of course, you know, when you're in certain sports like that, but you know, when you're sitting here, especially as young, test everything out.
Do you still hoop?
I just shoot.
Yeah, just shoot.
Yeah, these knees, man. All the work ethic I have, I just cannot rehab. I do not have the discipline to sit there and exercise.
Is that what happened in DC?
It's what really kind of like ruined the career for the most part. It was I couldn't get my knee healthy enough to sustain. Like I just wanted to play.
You just want to get out there.
I just want to play. Right, all this sitting there with the rubber band, being the rubber band exercise man. Like I don't want to be a professional exerciser, yo.
Yeah.
I want to go out there and be a bucket getter.
Yeah.
And you know, today, same. There's like, yo, gonna have to stretch. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty much gonna have a walker because you know, stretching. And then, you know, I'll sit on the couch, watch TV all day, and won't just stretch.
Yeah.
Not like it hurts.
Yeah.
It's like a stretch, it hurts.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I know it's something I'm gonna have to tackle later because my mobility is it's decreasing.
Yeah.
So I know it's gonna be one of those where I'm gonna have to really dieting and, you know, taking care of my body. There's gonna have to be, you know, there's gonna have to be a focal point.
You're gonna wanna, I mean, at some point you're gonna probably want to get back out there and play, right? And just play pickup or no?
Yeah, you know, I went and looked at the 35 and over league, and I'm like, yeah, I need 45 and over. Right, right. I've been pickleball. I went and played pickleball. Like,
but if you can fuck around some pickleball, you can play some hoops.
Yeah, like this is like
just with some scrubs. I mean, shit. I mean, you know what I mean? You ain't gotta.
I don't have to see I think with you know, basketball, I have to jump a lot, right? You know, get off rebound and all that, and that's what I'm afraid of. You know, moving side to side, I'm fine with that. So. You know, I'm joining the pickleball club.
My pops is 79. He still plays 5-on-5 twice a week, bro.
What?
Yeah, in DC. But that motherfucker just goes 3-point line to 3-point line. You know,
hey,
talk shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Talk shit. You know, for us, there are cats who are just crazy fucking gifted. There's people who can get on stage and just fucking sing, or who can dance, or who can like get in front of people, and they're so emotionally available, right? And then there's cats who go to Juilliard and go study around the world and are like so technically proficient, and they can do crazy shit with their body because they've learned it, right? And for me, it's exactly what you said. Through no like great strategy of my own, but I was a kid who like really been through some shit, really got hit in the face a bunch of times, really made some huge mistakes, like ran up against some walls. So I've been around all kinds of people and I had all kinds of life experience, but I really, really trained. I really, really learned how, like you said, that like when in doubt, just get into a studio, get into a room by yourself, and don't leave till you found that shit. Don't leave until your heart, like, I know who this motherfucker is. I know how he walks. I know, you know, and like, just don't leave till you find it.
Yeah.
And there's no way I would know that if it wasn't from sports. And that's why when I think about my kids in athletics, it's real. You know, I have this one kid, and my wife's uncle's Kurt Angle, right? Like the wrestling fan, like, you know, there's real good athletic genes, but like I'm you know, I'm a below mediocre, but I love sports, played it my whole life. But I have this one son, you know, he's on, but like quarterback, you know, he's crushing it, breaking records. His AAU team won you know, the national tournament in Vegas, and he's good, and he's the dude on every, but at the end of the day, like, I don't give a fuck if he plays sport, but he needs to learn these lessons about working everybody and how to be a good teammate and how to fucking control the things that he can control. Like, just have the best fucking attitude, more effort than everyone in the gym. He will put that into something one day, And that's what all I want for all my kids. I really want that. And I have to stay clear on that intention rather than just like, because it is crazy, man. Like now, 11 years old, you have high school coaches talking to you about, I'm like, motherfucker, he had shit in his diapers like 5 years ago, dog. Like, what are we talking about? Like, he don't have any hair on his dick. Like, that dude's like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you interested in, you goofy motherfucker? Like, he's 11, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, now it's just working, just the understanding of if you're the best player, then you're always first at everything. And I always tell them, there's going to be guys who are good and they're going to be prima donnas.
That's right. That's right.
Right? If you are the best player, then you are always the example that you want. If I'll say Steph Curry is the hardest worker in practice. Mm-hmm. Right? He don't come to practice, lay around and no. He's the hardest worker in practice because he don't want anyone to think what he does is easy.
That's right.
Right? It's when the best player does it, no one else can say anything. So if you say, well, they don't listen to coach. And I said, the players don't listen to coach? He's like, no. Then you're fucking up in practice. He said, what do you mean? I said, you listen to coach? He said, yeah. No, you don't. Because if you listen to coach and you're the best player, then they're forced to fucking listen to coach because you're demanding it just by listening. So the fact that you probably dismiss your coach, probably look off when he's talking, they're your friends, they're going to do the same thing.
That's right.
So when you start looking your coach in the eye, running and doing everything he says, they have no choice because they fucking option 2, 3, 4, 5. I said, that's when you're turning into a superstar, when you understand that ability. They need to listen to you. If you listen to coach, they listen to coach.
That's right.
If you don't listen to coach, they don't. They're gonna follow your lead. They're following the lion.
That's right.
Remember, they're in a cage with you. This motherfucker just comes once in the blue moon to feed.
Yeah.
They're in period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with you, fucker. The weekends they're with you. They're not with coach. He just comes in for the hour and then he leaves. So it's you dictate how they're gonna act. If you act cool, they act cool.
Is he doing it?
Now he understands it.
Yeah. It's constant though. I mean, this parenting thing, it's constant. It's like, and then it's like all of a sudden, it's like we've already been through this shit. It's the same shit. Why aren't you applying it to that? And then it's like, all right, calm the fuck down. Try to get wise. Try to figure out a way to like get, what I mean?
Fucking kids all over again, right?
Straight up.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. You gotta be a different person with each fucking kid.
You gotta act.
You gotta act, dude.
You gotta act. You just fucking gotta pretend you care. Like, oh damn, what's the name? Oh really?
I'm so sorry to have you.
Yeah. Oh man. Hey,
that's rough, bro.
Help, come and help. Like decoy. I need decoy. I need fucking decoy.
How about you, man? What, have you done movies yet?
No, I'm so scared of cameras.
What? You ain't scared of shit, bro.
Like it's weird.
Cameras right here.
I know it's the weird one. It's the ones like okay, like you know how you got to read something.
Yeah.
I still can't do it.
But bro,
I've done every.
But the whole thing with that, dude, is like you get the line. You make it your own. I don't say the shit that they tell me to say. I make it my own, bro.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, dude.
I read it exact. So
no, fuck all that, man.
Sponsored by
no. I mean, I look. I don't know about like an ad sponsor, but I mean, like in a scene, if you're playing a character. You know, man, you do, especially the. I mean, I don't know if it's the same in sports, but I mean, the higher the level, you're there because it's you. Yeah. So it's not. I mean, you're not. Abe Pollin wasn't coming in being like, "Well, listen, Gilbert, I think you know." I mean, he wasn't telling you how to fucking play the game. You know, it's like you got to make it yours. You got to make it work. You got to make it work. Like you're there for a reason, so you got to make it work. Make that shit work for you, bro. You should try it, man.
I was always scared. I was always like,
I'm gonna ask you to come do a movie
because I've been like, because I would like, can you do movies? And I'd be thinking about, I had to do the ad reading. Nah, like it's gonna be 20 takes, and I got to read 3 lines. And I'm like, yo, can I just read like 4 words at a time, and then you just edit it? I'm one of those. My name is Gilbert Arenas. Okay, got that one.
I think we're good.
Right. I play for the Washington Wizards. Oh, you got those two? Okay, next line. And I'm like,
so
3
good.
words at a time, and you're gonna fucking mash it together.
Hey,
and we're
did you
good.
get into that? Did you get into that go-go music while you were in DC?
Nah.
No, why not?
I don't know.
You weren't
like
having
it was a couple. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a West.
Did you ever go?
I'm a West Coast kid. It does. No, it does.
Believe me, it does, bro.
No, trust me, it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Right?
it's its own thing.
There's 2 places I've been, and they just have their own music. You have the hyphy music in the Bay Area, right? You go to a club. If you think you're gonna listen to some Drake or Kendrick Lamar or something, no. There's gonna be local music. It's gonna be E42 Short. It's gonna just be them, right? And it's gonna get crazy. And then DC, go. Right? And it's a whole bunch of bongos and just
bells.
Yeah, and then and you're just sitting there like,
man, are you? Hey, that is
Like
something. You went to the go-go. You went.
like
did you ever go to the go-go?
No, I went to the go-go.
And you
like,
didn't. You didn't get down. You didn't get into it with any ladies.
I was coming from the West Coast, so like I'm
Bruh.
listening to Snoop Dogg. Where's the fucking dog at?
Bro.
Where's the Snoop Dogg at? Like, can you DJ play the Snoop Dogg? You know, like, no, this is go-go. The fuck is that? It's a live go-go band.
But
Who are they? Like
Junkyard,
yeah,
Essence,
right,
Northeast
yeah.
Groovers.
I went to them, but it's just like
I cannot imagine what would happen if you walked into the go-go. Like people probably went crazy.
Like I met VIP and I met was it Love and Dream nightclub? You know what I mean? But on hip hop night.
Yeah.
Not go-go night.
You're not going on go-go night. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so.
But
funny.
it was fun. Like when they did play it and they started playing some of the music
because they played at the arena at the games. Yeah. Man, I really appreciate you doing this. Man.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
You're one of a kind, man. It's a true honor for me, bro.